We are live, my friend. How are you doing? I hope that you are doing fine. Welcome back to our live stream. This is the CEO Podcast, and I'm hoping that this will be of great help to you. And so we've defined the issue of sex and gender. We've found the difference between the two. We've said that sex is the biology, and then gender is the social or cultural attributes that define one to be either male or female. We've also talked about the gender expression, gender incongruence, and if you do not understand, refer to our previous live stream. In this live stream, we shall be talking about the group that most of you know, but maybe you have a misunderstanding about this. I hope that at the end of the day, I'll be laying a foundation. We shall be talking about the LGBTIQ group, right? And we shall be defining each one of them. And we shall be basing our understanding from our previous live stream. And so if you find value at any given point, feel very, very free to always hit that like button. You can always follow me or subscribe to the channel if you're watching from YouTube, and you'll be finding more of this. So welcome to the CEO Podcast. Now let's first of all define sexual orientation. So sexual orientation, these are people you are attracted to sexually or romantically. And this one covers the first three people, the L, G, and B. So this one have, sexual orientation. This defines to what sexual activity are you attracted to, right? So this does not really matter about the sex or the gender. It matters so much about the sexual activities that you are attracted to. Now, after defining that, knowing who you are attracted to, knowing if you are attracted to males, if you are male attracted to males, or if you are female attracted to females, or if you are a male attracted to both female and male, you understand, right? So that one covers the L, G, and B. Now, L stands for lesbians. Now, let's talk about lesbians, right? This is a female person. Now, this person is fully aware of who she is. And in other words, these people do not have gender identity crisis. Remember, we talked about that, the gender incongruence, whether they have a mismatch between the gender they express and the sex that was assigned at birth. They do not have that problem. So, lesbians are females. These are born girls. They have been raised as girls. The behaviors of girls, they put on as girls. They have all genitals for girls. They have all sexual organs of a girl or a female. But they are lesbians. Now, they are attracted to the other female person. And remember, also the other female person is anatomically a female. She is fully aware of who she is. Remember, these people do not have gender identity crisis. I hope you get that. So these are female, right? Who understands who she is. But sexually, she is attracted to other females. That's what we call lesbianism. If it is the person we call, she is a lesbian. So these people use the pronoun she. They don't have a problem with when it comes to pronouns. So here we are talking about sexual activity, remember. Let's not confuse sexual activity or the sexual orientation. Let's talk about the G. The G stands for gay. Now, a gay person is a male person. He is conscious of whom he is. He was born a boy, raised a boy. He has the genital for a boy. He has everything that a boy or a male should have. They are conscious of whom they are. They do not have gender identity crisis. So this is a male person who is sexually or romantically attracted to another male person. Gay. he is a male and he is sexually and romantically attracted to another male. That is now going to the sexual orientation or sexual activity. Let's not get the confusion here, right? I hope I'm getting understood. If you do not understand, please drop me a comment. I would like to explain further. So that is who we say is a gay, a male person attracted to another male person. Both of these people are conscious of who they are and they really understand who they truly are. Let's talk about the B. B stands for bisexual. Now, the bisexual person it might be a male or a female. They do not have gender identity crisis, but then they are attracted to both female and males. That is sexually or romantically. What do I mean? A bisexual can be a male. For example, myself, I am a male. But you might find that when it comes to sexual activities or sexual orientation or desires or romantic relationships, then I am attracted to both males and females. So I do not have a problem sleeping with males. I do not have a problem sleeping with females. Then I'll be a bisexual. The same applies to females. She is a female. She is conscious of being a female. And she is both attracted to female and males sexually. So she do not have a problem having sex with a male. She do not have a problem having sex with a fellow female. This is what we call bisexual. So from the start, lesbians, gays, and bisexuals do not have gender identity crisis. They understand who they are. They are conscious of who they are. The problem comes at the sexual activity or sexual interests. They are interested in different sexual partners. I hope you understand there, right? Now, let's talk about T, the transgender. Now, things start being tough and complicated at this point because at the LGB, we have not seen any problem. These people are good. They have the pronouns as if it is a he, it's a he, if it's a she, it's a she, and so on and so forth. Let me read from, this is Jim, Usilambe, microphone. But thank you for your comment. Now, transgender. Transgender now brings a lot of confusion, and this one needs you to be very keen for you to understand. So transgender persons experience feelings of incongruence or mismatch between their inherent gender and the sex they assigned at birth. Gender means it is the internal feeling, right? So these transgender people have an incongruence, or in other words, they have a mismatch between the sex that they were assigned at birth and the inherent gender that they have in themselves. So you will find that these people suffer from gender identity distress or gender identity crisis. In this group of people, we don't dwell on the sexual activities or persons they are attracted to sexually. Because first of all, they already have a problem with the gender identity, and maybe you may find most of these people do not prefer sexual activities, and if they prefer, then it is something that is serious. We shall talk about that. Hope you are getting this. DKvo, let me see what. Yeah. Hey. Hello. Hello. We have somebody. Kuna mtu. Hello? Okay. Let's see. There's a confusion. When you're sending a request, please be sure, right? So that we can save on time. So, gender, the transgender people, they have incongruence. they have a problem with their identity. Let's talk about trans man. So who is a trans man? This is a transgender person who has transitioned from female to male. So this trans man is born a female, raised a female, puts on as like a female, the genitals are for female, everything is female. But then when it comes to gender expression, she expresses herself as male. So it is a transgender person who has transitioned from female to male. You understand? That's what we call a trans man. So these persons have female genitals or organs. They use the pronoun he instead of she. So when you are referring to a trans man, you call by the pronoun she. I mean he. So it's a female, but she identifies herself as a he. When you are calling her, don't dare and call her she, because she has transitioned from being female to male. That's what we call a trans man. Okay, we'll get to that later on and give examples, and I hope that you are going to understand all this. Let's talk about the trans woman. So this is a transgender person who has transitioned from male to female. This person was born a boy. He has the genitals of a male. He was raised as a boy. He puts on as a boy. He has a broken voice. He has beard. He has everything on earth that defines a man. But now the gender expression, the internal feeling of oneself is that he feels to be female. So they transit from being male to female. Then we call them a trans woman. I hope you understand that. Now, these people were born males. They have the male genitals. They have the male organs. But then they define themselves as female. Now, they are using the pronoun she instead of he. So when you meet this person, he is a man, but he will use the pronoun she. So if she was around, is a man, you call her she. So I find it hard to say that, but anyway, they are a trans woman. They have to be respected, and this is something so serious, something so very serious. Now, the problem, as I said in our previous live stream, is that when this person will present the documents, now there will be a problem, a bigger problem, because there will be a mismatch between the sex that was assigned at birth and the gender expression that this person is giving. Hope you get that. Now, transgender persons face a lot of challenges. Both socially and emotionally. Right? Because if, for example, if this is Duncan, right? If I start feeling to be a female, I'll face challenges. Socially, because I'll start distancing myself from my male friends. I'll want to hook up with female friends because I feel more feminine than masculine. I will also face emotional distresses because now, my friend, you are feeling to be female and you are fighting with your thoughts, you are convincing yourself that Kazungu, I am no longer a male, I am now a female. You have a struggle in the mindset. You have a struggle in the emotions. So you will face a lot of challenges, both socially and emotionally, and mostly socially. Because when you stand and tell people, my name is Anne, and yet they are seeing you in a male body. They have been put in a male body. For example, I'm Kazungu and I'm presenting myself as Anne or Judith or names of girls or Mercy, right? I'll be so much disappointed to stand and say my name or to stand and say my gender. Because, my friend, I have a problem with my gender identity. So these people face challenges both socially and emotionally. My friend, I don't know if you've ever met a trans man or a trans woman, or if you've ever met a trans. Let me know down in the comments below. How was the experience? How did they feel? Were they comfortable telling you? Were they comfortable around you? How was their sexual orientation? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, I want you to picture a trans man arrested for breaking the law. Now, in which cell will he be put? And that he is in quotes. Remember, a trans man is a female who has transitioned from being female to male. So she ceases to use the pronoun she, now she uses the pronoun he. Assume or picture that this trans man has been found having a problem. Now, having that problem, she's been, let me use he, and the he is in quotes, right? So he is arrested and taken to a police station. In which cell will he be put? The genitals are for a female. The gender expression is male. In which cell will he be put? Male cell or female cell? You can drop me a comment. Kerubo wants to say something. Let me see what she wants to say. Kerubo.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Where are you watching from?
From Kenya.
You're watching from?
Kenya.
I know it's Kenya. Which part? Which part of Kenya?
Nairobi.
Nairobi. I'm currently in Kakamega.
Okay.
But next week, but one I'll be in Nairobi.
Okay, welcome.
Okay, yeah. So, have you ever met a transgender person?
What?
First of all, do you understand the term transgender? Come on, people do not understand this term. Thank you so much, Karuba. I think she's run away because she doesn't understand the term transgender. Please send a request. I'll always accept. Don't fear the question. If you don't know, just tell me I don't know. I'll always explain that to you. Now, I was asking where will he be taken? So the documents, that is ID card or the birth certificate, will say that will confuse you in the first place, right? Because it will have the F for female, but the person when she comes, he says, I am a male. So the documents will have female names. For example, what are female names? Mercy Kerubo, for example, female name, right? And then at the place of sex, they will have F for female. But then the person, when it comes, they say that, you know, my friend, I am a male. In the first place, you will be confused because you are seeing a female body standing before you, and that female body is telling you, my friend, I am a male. That will confuse you. And by the way, this I don't know how this will be taken, especially to money transaction places. For example, in banks and in M-Pesa. Okay, picture yourself as an M-Pesa agent. Then a trans man comes and he says, okay, he withdraws or maybe say he changed, right? I'm using the he in quotes. Do not get confused. Yeah, thank you for the roses. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so very much. God do you good. So this person says, I am a male, and yet you are seeing a female person. Will you give out the money? Because in the first place, the document will confuse you. You'll find different names from what the name that she gave, and you'll find a confusion. Okay, M-Pesa, you can talk and, agree. How about in the bank? The first thing the teller will do, the cashier will do, he will call security. And will say, I think this person is impersonating. He wants to take money from an account that is not his. Just because you've said, I no longer feel to be a female, I feel to be male. It is a problem. They face a lot of problems. So, and you know, when you want to change these documents, it will take you, first of all, a longer period. It can take you up to 10 years for you to just change the name from Anne to Duncan. So, for example, you are a female, you want to transit to be a male. For you to change just that name from Anne Gishaku to Duncan Kazungu, it will take you almost 10 years. Secondly, they have a problem of changing that. They say you do not need to change, because in Kenya, an ID is a serious thing. When it comes to birth certificate, the body of the registrar of persons at the birth certificate department will be lenient enough and change it. But for those of IDs, it is so hard. And so it will take you a lot of money in the first place. You'll be taken to court to take an affidavit and say, from today I am no longer Anne, my name is Duncan. From today I am no longer a female, I am a male. It takes you a very long time. I don't know if you've ever experienced these people, and if you have, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for so very much for those who are watching. I really appreciate. Gita, hey, that name is so hard. Thank you for the roses. I really appreciate. Now, you remember the case of Audrey? I don't know if you remember that case. It was long ago. I know if you've been following these transgender issues, you know the story of Audrey. We can beat that story some other time, but it is a story that really was so big, and people had a problem, and this male wanted to change to be a female. So you find that person has an audacity to stand and say, from today I am no longer a male, I am a female. So funny. It is so funny. If you remember the story of the case of Audrey, it is something that is so serious. So the person would identify himself as a man. So another example is, if a trans woman wants to enter a building or institution, and she, remember, a trans woman is a male, born a male, raised as a male, has the genitals of a male, has everything for a male, but the gender expression is female. Now, picture a trans woman coming. And we've said that trans women use the pronoun she and not he. You get that? So, picture this. If a trans woman wants to enter a building or an institution, and she must be checked at the entrance, who will check her? Is it the male gets man or the female gets woman? Remember, the document of identification shows male, and at the place of sex, it is M. That is his gender. But the person identifies as female. In the first place, when she will be coming, she will head straight to the woman, the gets woman. But then, what will the gets woman do? Because when you see a trans person, you cannot really tell from seeing that this is a female or a male. You cannot really tell, because we've said that gender is internal. So when you see that person, you just see, this is a male. So if it is a male, the woman will tell him, go be checked by the male, the gets man, right? The man will insist, I want you to check me. The woman will say, no, we don't do that here. We only allow females to check females and males to check males. And he will be asked, can you give us your ID, identification document? He will give the ID. The ID will read a male name. And then they say, why are you disturbing us? Just go be checked by a male gets man. But the man will say, I'm not a male. I am a female. The first thing that this security person will do will get confused. Because they see a male body standing before them, and the male body is telling them, I'm not male, I am female. I am conscious of being female. My mindset, my everything is female. It's only that I am trapped in a male body. But I myself, I feel more feminine than masculine. Now tell me, if you are the gate person, what will you do? You see, they have to call the head of security to solve this issue. Because the man will say, I don't want to be checked by a male because I am not a male, I feel more feminine. Also, picture a trans woman going to a bank. I think I gave this example. And then she wants to withdraw money. The documents will read otherwise. Whatever she says will be otherwise. And the security will be called and say, there's someone I think is trying to impersonate. So if you're finding value in this video, feel very free to like. Those of you who are sending me likes and roses, thank you so very much. So these issues have made it so hard for transgender persons to walk and interact freely. And that's why we said they have problems socially, because they cannot just interact freely. Jacqueline, should I accept this? Let me see. Jackie.
Yes.
Sasa.
Sure.
Yeah, this is Duncan.
Yeah.
Where are you watching from?
I'm watching from Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay, Nairobi. Sawa. So we are just talking about the LGBTQ. You understand the LGBTQ group?
No.
Okay, share scare your group. Yeah, maybe I just explained. Lesbians, gays, bisexual. Like the L stands for lesbian, the G stands for gay, the B stands for bisexual, T for transgender, and the I for intersex. So we started by defining the first three, the lesbians. So we said that a lesbian is a female by birth, but then when it comes to sexual activities, she's attracted to a fellow female. That is a lesbian. A gay is a male person, born male, raised male, but then when it comes to sexual desires or sexual activities, the male person is attracted to a fellow male. That's what we call a gay. A bisexual is either a female or a male, but these people are attracted to both genders. So, for example, if it is a male, he is attracted to both females and males. So he can sleep with a female, he can also sleep with a male. The same happens to a lady who is a bisexual. She can sleep with a female, she can also sleep with a male. Now, the problem now comes to transgender. Because in transgender, we find that a person is transiting from one gender to another. So, for example, you are a lady. Let me use you as an example. You are a lady. Now, we've defined what we call gender expression. This is where the internal feeling is mismatching the sex that you are assigned. So, for example, you are Jacqueline. You are a female, but from your inside, you feel to be more male than female. So we shall call you a trans man. So ukienda mahali unasema mimi ni mwanaume and yet you are trapped in a female body. Now when we talk of the trans woman now, ni kama mimi. So mimi yes, nimekuwa born a boy and all that, and then nikiwa that boy, my internal feeling inasema mimi niko more feminine than male. So utapata nikienda mahali nasema yes,
nimekuelewa hapa.
Yeah, so that is a trans person. So have you ever met a trans person in the first place?
Yeah, they are, but that I met one of them.
Yeah.
But you cannot tell person you are like this and this. You
Yeah,
just
that's
see
why we.
yourself and you understand.
Okay. But unajua ni lazima akwambie ndio ujue like if really this person is a trans, because huwezi mwangalia tu na ujue ni trans. Yeah, so do you think okay, pia hizi issues zimekuwa very rampant in high schools. What do you think would be the reason why unapata lesbians wamejaa high school, gays wamejaa high school? What do you think is the main reason for this?
I think it is because they are, for example, in girls, they are in the same room and they start to share the things concerning sex.
Okay. So they end up doing sexual activities between themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And unajua ilinishangaza to find that also in the village unapata kuna lesbians. Mimi nashangaa because hizi vitu zilikuwa maybe in Nairobi peke yake ama Mombasa. But nowadays even in the village kuna gays and lesbians, especially lesbians ni wengi. So sijui ni nini shida. Where is the problem with that? Have you ever thought of it?
I think ni kama vile umbo la the way he or she is created. For example, hormones. It depends on hormones. Kama mtu hormones zake siko haya, kama mimi ni msichana na hormones zangu mingi ni za kijana, I think hiyo ndio inachangia.
Okay, so it's more of biology, right? Okay, Jackie, thank you so very much. I hope that I'll be shedding some light to this because unapata, especially kwa transgender, inaleta shida sana. Hata kwa department ya polisi, unapata mtu ameshikwa yeye anasema yeye si mwanamke ni mwanamume. Polisi wanashindwa ni nani atamcheck and all those sorts of things. So I'm hoping that at the end of this live stream, at least mtu ataweza kuelewa. Yeah, so thank you for checking in. I truly appreciate. So allow me to continue. Sawa, asante. Okay. I think we've had a little bit of a chat with her. Okay, so we find there's a problem when it comes to these people accessing institutions, accessing bank, accessing M-Pesa, accessing so many stuff. So you find that these people are left out. They will not give their identities because even just changing those identity documents, it is something serious. And in the case of this person going to withdraw money in a bank and the cashier calls the security, atakuwa arrested and this will be something serious. Now, I want you to see that this was a serious case even in the 14th century. Right now we are in the 21st century and still a problem. So there was a case in the 14th century. So in the 14th century, there was the story of Saint Marino, the monk. I think if you just type on Google, Saint Marino, the monk, you'll find that. So there was also a case in Kenya where the judges failed to know whether to call the victim by he or she, and then they decided to drop the pronouns. I think I mentioned that in our previous live stream about sex and gender. So the guy was to be arrested, but at the end of the day, my friend, he was not arrested. He was just told, you know what, you'll just pay us a fine, and then we shall have that. Now, let me just shed some light about the story of Saint Marino the monk. Now, this was a female person. She was born female, raised female, put on like a female, behaved like a female, did everything that a female could do. And then it reached a point after puberty, these things change at puberty. So at puberty, this Saint Marino finds that she feels more masculine than feminine. She was like, I can do what a man can do. She had the strength, she had everything that she really needed to be a man. The only thing that was there, which was a problem, it is that she was trapped in a female body. But everything around her felt masculine, everything inside her felt masculine. So the gender expression that she had was that she is a trans man. She transited from being a female to being a male. Now, reaching at puberty, she decided to enroll as a monk. For those of you who know the rules of a monk, a lady cannot enter a monkery program. In monk, you only need to have the males. And this is a lady, she has the features, the genitals of a lady, and she feels to be more masculine, so she decided to join the monk team. All right. Now, the monk accepted her because she had the strength, the physical features. Maybe she had, the breast was not that big, so she could look like, in today's world, we call them tomboy, right? So she looked like a male. But the genitals were for a female. She had ovaries, she had the valve, she had the breast, she had everything that it requires to have as a female. But then she expresses herself as male, and then she was accepted into the monk. She trained as a monk. She slept with like monks share the same room as they sleep. She shared the same room with males. She behaved like males. So everybody in the monk house or monk palace knew her as a male. And she dropped the pronoun she, then she started using the pronoun he. Now, she was there for so long, training, and she became so tough, and she became one of the best people in the monk. Now, a case was filed against her in the 14th century, and the case was that she raped a girl and she impregnated that girl. Okay, she could just say no because she did not have the machine to impregnate a girl. Remember, her genitals are female. But here is her case. She is accused of raping a girl and impregnating her. Okay, the case was heard and she was taken to their court and she pleaded guilty. Look at that. If it was a normal person, or if she knew that she's going to be sent out or jailed, she could say, but for me, I'm a female. I don't have the machine to impregnate a woman. I cannot rape a woman. But she knew, she felt deep inside herself that I am no longer a female. I am a man. So when that case was heard, she pleaded guilty. And then the first thing they did is to expel her. And one thing, if you're a monk and you impregnate someone, the consequence is you have to marry that lady by force and adopt that child by force. So she was forced to do that. Okay, they also give you an option. If you don't want to marry the lady, you can adopt the child. So the thing that is a must is that you have to adopt the child. Now, the Saint Marino, what she did not want to get the lady for marriage. So she adopted the girl. So she was expelled from the monkery and she was also forced to adopt the child. Now remember, it is only her parents who knew that she was a lady. No one else, even in the monk, understood or knew who she really was. Everybody knew her as a man. It is only her parents who knew that she is a female. Now, she accepted to adopt the child, right? Because of the case and because of their rule. And now it came that she reapplied to go back to the monkery, to go back into the the monkery. So she was accepted back, she served. And then, remember, she's already adopted the child. And then she died. Now, during the death, there were people who were washing her body. They are these people who realized that she's been a lady all through. No one else understood. She was a lady all through. She's been in the monk for so many years. And they remembered the case that was filed against her. And they were wondering, why could she just say that I'm not a male, I cannot impregnate a person? So this was a serious case until they were confused. And it was like, no. Now there was a talk in the monkery and everybody was like, what? We just did this wrong. We accused her falsely. She accepted everything to just come and confirm during when they were washing her dead body that she was a female. Now, they decided the good thing we can do now is just to give her the name Saint. And that's why we call her Saint Marino the monk. So this is a serious issue. It started back in the 14th century where we see the case of Saint Marino, who is identifying herself as male. She lived as a male, she did as a male, and everything was as a male. So this was a serious case. I believe if you can go and check it by yourself, it will be something good. Okay, let's go towards the end of this. Let's talk about intersex. We've talked about the L, the G, B, T, and now we are on I, the intersex. So I stands for intersex. If you're finding value, feel very free to like. So this is a person who has both male and female genitals. So if you are an intersex, if you see a person saying I'm an intersex, then know that they have both male and female genitals. So they have both the valve and the penis. I'll call valve instead of vagina, right? So allow me to use valve. I'll call it penis instead of penis. You understand that, right? So an intersex person has both the penis and the valve. They have both the genitals. So almost all parents feel ashamed once they realize that they have an intersex child. So this is associated with they say that it is associated with the sorcery in the community. So when someone gives birth to an intersex child, they feel that this is sorcery, but it isn't. However, doctors will ask the mother what to do. They will always ask you, what do we do? And some of the parents will resolve for surgery. Which it is not advisable. It is not advisable to have surgery on an intersex child. So some parents would say they wanted a boy. So the surgery will be conducted and a penis will be constructed, right? Then some parents would say, no, I was expecting a girl, right? And then therefore a surgery will be conducted and a valve will be created or will be constructed. So you find that most parents go for surgery of a child to be a girl. So if they have an intersex, they will choose that child to be a girl because it is less expensive to construct a vagina or a valve compared to a penis, right? It is expensive to construct a penis compared to a vagina. So most of the parents would prefer to go cheap and construct a valve or a vagina. Now, let me tell you why it's not advisable to have the surgery done on an intersex child. So let's assume the parents chose the surgery and they wanted the child to be converted into a girl. So they will construct a vagina, then the child will be a girl. The parents will teach the child and bring her in the ways of being a girl. So she will be having girlish behaviors. They will teach her to wash utensils. They will teach her to clean. They will teach her all things to do with ladies. She will put on clothes for ladies, shoes for ladies. She will put on everything for ladies. So her childhood will be ladish or girlish. When it comes to the birth certificate, she will have the F for female at the place of sex. Okay. So she'll be cooking, doing all the girlish stuff. When puberty hits, my friend, the child starts to change. She starts to feel more masculine compared to feminine. And now she will start telling, I want to be, I feel more male, I want to be putting on male stuff, right? Then you realize also that she breaks the voice. Come on. Now this becomes a distress to the family. They start now, we thought this is a girl. They'll first of all, they will start training the child, you are a girl, you are not a boy. We don't want you to be a boy. So you put on as a girl. But the girl says, oh my, I feel to be more male than female. She breaks the voice and everything starts to go astray. Now, so you'll find that this will be a big issue for that family. They will start feeling ashamed. Some of them decide to send these children away. But remember, it is not the problem for the child. The child did not ask you to conduct the surgery. Never. She never asked. So you decided to give her a vagina, yet the hormones for men will become dominant. So you'll find that the child, first of all, will want to change the names. So for example, if you called her Mercy Kerubo, she will want to call herself Duncan. Right? She wants to be identified as a male. And then she will also want to change the F to M to read male from the birth certificate. So the parents will find it so hard to allow this child, and it will be so expensive to do that because now she's been brought up as a girl. However, studying becomes hard. Why? They end up dropping out of school. Why? Because of stigmatization. It becomes a big issue. She is stigmatized at school. You said you are a girl, now you are behaving like a boy. It now gets worse if a penis was constructed and this child was made a boy. And then puberty hits, he starts feeling to be more feminine. He starts experiencing menses. It is so disappointing to see a male experiencing menses. Now, do you know what will happen at school? Children will start laughing at him. Oh, look at this boy. He's having menses just like ladies. He's now started behaving girlish. So what do? They drop out of school because of stigmatization. And this has been brought by the surgery. And the surgery was a mistake of the parent. And that's why we say, if you have an intersex child, do not do surgery. So it goes to an extent that now this child will want to commit suicide. They'll say, if now I cannot be identified as a male or a female, then there's no need for me to live. If I cannot continue doing my studies, right? Let me just make this. If I cannot continue doing my studies in school just because I cannot identify myself as a male or a female, then there is no need for me to live. You find that these children will resolve to suicide. Was it their problem? Was it their fault? No, it was the fault of the parent. So this is why we say, if you have if you have an intersex child, do not do surgery. So they end up committing suicide, and some of them will decide to run away from their homes. And that's why you find so many refugees in Kenya, maybe from Uganda, from Somalia, are running from their homes because they are intersex children, and because people will now start looking at them differently, stigmatization. And if it is a male and he starts identifying himself as a female, there is a possibility that there are boys who will plan to rape her. So they will decide either to run, and if they manage to rape her, he might end up killing himself. He sees no reason of digging. But remember, this was brought at birth. This problem started at birth when the parents decided to do surgery and do otherwise. And it gets more worse when they have done it to be a male and the boy starts having menses, or they've done it for a girl, they gave her genitals for a girl, and then she starts behaving like a man and maybe having wet dreams and all that. So please let us take this seriously. Intersex issues is also something serious. So if any parent is watching me now, if you are a parent and you're watching me right now, take this seriously. And if this ever happens to you, please never go for surgery. Never go for surgery. So they turn out to be the opposite. In most cases, they turn out to be the opposite, just because of the hormonal imbalances in their bodies. And this usually happens at puberty. When that child reaches puberty, adolescence hits in, and everything starts to change. So in general, the lesbians, gays, and bisexuals have no identity issues, while the transgender and intersex have issues with identity. And the problem now comes up when we have the transgender and the intersex. So transgender, we've talked about it, and if you did not get it, be very sure to rewatch this. I'll be posting this on YouTube, Ero Productions, under the CEO Podcast, and I hope that this is going to be of great value. I am hoping that I've shed some light. I don't know if you have any question. If you have any question, feel very, very free to drop me the question. Is there a part you have not understood? I've explained lesbians, I've explained gays, I've explained bisexuals, transgenders, and intersex. If you haven't understood any of them, let me know down in the comments below so that I can shed some light. And where I've dwelt a lot of time is on the transgender and on the intersex children. And there's this Q. Usually see LGBTI and then Q. So Q is standing for queer. Queer means community. So in general, these call themselves the queer community, right? The queer community. Jane, yes, Jane, you are a bit late, but you can send a request, then we can have a little chat, because I finished. We started like 1 hour ago. I'm sorry you are late, but I'll drop this on YouTube as well, Ero Productions, later in the week. But you can send me a request, then we can have a little bit of a chat. Na tuone itakuwa namna gani. So for those of you I can see someone saying, hi.
Hi too.
Sasa.
Niko poa na
Kofiti, this is Duncan, huh?
Okay, this is Hamri.
Hamri, where are you watching from?
Nairobi.
Thank you so much for sending the request. I've been talking about LGBTIQ. You know the group?
I don't understand.
Okay, you've heard of lesbians, gays, transgender, bisexuals. You've ever heard of that?
Mimi ni mtu wa Tanzania, sielewi hiyo lugha yako.
Oh, sorry. So niongee Kiswahili?
Mimi ni mtu wa Tanzania.
Toba, na sasa Kiswahili nita explain aje lesbian. But have you ever had ushaisikia hii group ya lesbians? Like lesbian ni dem ambaye ni mwanadada ambaye ako interested Kiswahili kwanza. Ako interested na mwanamke mwenzake. That is ikija kwa mambo na mapenzi.
Hiyo ndio inaitwa lesbians.
Yeah, kwa Kiswahili lesbians mimi huenda sitaweza kusema kwa Kiswahili.
Kwa Kiswahili nikwambie ni nini?
Like mwanadada ambaye ako interested kwa mwanadada mwenzake kimapenzi.
Mwanafitina. Mwanafitina.
Nafikiri nimejifunza kitu leo. Hamdui. Now, na kuna hii G stands for gay, ambapo kuna mwanamume ako interested kwa mwanamume mwenzake kimapenzi. Sijui hiyo nitaitaje kwa Kiswahili.
Hiyo pia inaitwa, kwani wewe bwana uko na hiyo story?
Si najaribu tu kushed some light, manake kuna watu hawaelewi, na nilikuwa na azimio ya kwamba at least nikaweze kuongelea, especially kuna ile group ya transgender na intersex. Hapo ndio kuna...
Mimi nimekuambia mimi sijui Kiingereza na unaongea Kiingereza.
Sasa ndio nitajaribu ku-explain, alafu wewe utanieleza.
Mimi ni Tanzania, sasa mimi sielewi hiyo lugha yako.
Okay. So wacha niseme transgender ni wakati ambapo kwa mfano mimi nimezaliwa mwanamume, alafu nimefika wakati wa kubalehe najihisi kuwa mwanamke. Yet mimi nimezaliwa mwanamume ingawa najihisi kuwa mwanamke. Hiyo tunaita transgender. Ama kwa mfano wewe umezaliwa kama mwanadada ama mwanamke, alafu inafika wakati wa kubalehe unajihisi kuwa more of mwanamke, mwanamume kuliko mwanamke. Hiyo ndio issue ya transgender. So unapata kwamba hawa watu kwa mfano wakitaka kwenda kwenye maybe ofisi, wanataka ku-access shule, unapata ni shida, manake ukiangalia documents zao za uzazi haziendi sawa na ile jinsia ambayo wanaweza kusema. Kwa mfano mimi ni mwanamume, nikienda kwa institution nasema nataka kuregister kuja kusoma hapa, lakini mimi si mwanamume, so nitaenda kwa shule ya wanawake na niseme, ama wanadada niseme ningependa kusoma hapa, manake mimi najihisi kuwa mwanamke. But ingawa utapata kuwa shule inasema sisi hatuwezi kukuleta hapa kwa sababu tukiangalia maumbile yako ni ya mwanamume. So that's what we call transgender. Sijika nimeeleweka. Kuna mtu ananicheka hapa anasema lugha otasi. Okay, umeelewa transgender?
Nimeelewa. Nimeelewa. Kwani wewe unajua Tanzania hakuna kuongea Kiingereza. Sasa kwa Tanzania tunabongeshana tu Kiswahili, then hakuna kuongea Kiingereza. Sasa mimi ukisema anything na Kiingereza sielewi.
Samahani. So kwa kila somo mnafanya kwa lugha ya Kiswahili, lugha tukufu ya Kiswahili.
Kiswahili na lugha ya Kitanzania.
Okay. Wajua sija interact na Watanzania sana, huenda nimekosea, lakini pole. Sawa? Okay, sawa. Kuna hii issue pia ya intersex. Now, intersex ni mtu ambaye amezaliwa na viungo vyote viwili vya mwanamke na vya mwanamume. Sijui hiyo kuna kitu kama hicho kwa Kiswahili, mimi huenda sitajua.
Naitwa Wilikecho.
Wilikecho. I think I'll write, nitaandika hiyo mahali, Wilikecho. So unapata kuwa shida ya hawa kwa mara mingi ni ule wakati ambapo unajua mzazi akizaa mtoto na apate kuwa ni ile nimesema intersex kwa Kiswahili. So akipata ni huyo mzazi, kitu ya kwanza atahisi kuwa si ndio, nakwambia intersex ni amezaliwa na viungo vyote viwili. So inafikia wakati daktari anauliza mzazi tufanye aje, ndio mzazi anasema mimi ningependa mfanye upasuaji ili huyu akue msichana, ama ufanye upasuaji ili huyu akue mvulana. Ingawa unapata kuwa wakifika wakati wa kubalee, kwa mfano mimi nimezaliwa kama intersex, nimezaliwa nikiwa na viungo vyote viwili, cha mwanamume na cha mwanamke. Alafu mzazi wangu akaamua mimi nikue, kwa sababu yeye alikuwa anatarajia kuwa na mtoto msichana, ataamua kuwa mimi nikue msichana. Na tumesema ya kwamba kutengeneza kiungo cha siri cha msichana ni rahisi na sio ghali kulinganishwa na cha mwanamume. Kutengeneza kiungo cha mwanaume cha siri ama nyeti ni ghali na ni process ambayo inachukua muda mrefu. So wengi husema Na mimi nataka kitu ambacho sio ghali, kitu ambayo ni bei nafuu, na hivyo atasema mimi nitengenezewe kiungo cha mwanamke. So nitatengenezewa kiungo cha mwanamke, nitolewe zile mbili, nipakishwe na moja. Haya, ikifika wakati wa kubalehe, mimi sasa naanza kujihisi kuwa mwanamume. So nimepewa kiungo cha mwanamke, lakini naanza kujihisi kuwa mwanamume, ninataka nivae kama mwanamume, ninataka nicheze na wanaume wenzangu, and so on and so forth. So sijui kama
wewe ni mwalimu. Wewe ni mwalimu ama?
La, mimi si mwalimu.
Unajua ku-explain kila kitu.
Yeah, najaribu tu kushed light because kuna watu wengi hawaelewi. Ndio maana nilikuwa nasema ukipata uko na mtoto amezaliwa na viungo viwili, siwezi sema uende ufanye upasuaji, maanake utamharibu. Wewe kisia ya kwamba mtu amezaliwa na viungo viwili, mzazi akaamua mimi nilikuwa nataka mwanamume, so wakatengeneza sehemu nyeti ya mvulana akapewa. Ifike wakati wa kubalee na anaanza ku experience menses kwa Kiswahili mnaita aje?
Sasa sijui menses, sasa nijibu aje ala. Sijui mimi siwezi sema. Mimi nakwambia Tanzania hakuna Kiingereza hadi moja. Sasa sisi tuko Tanzania hatujui. Niambie.
Okay, sasa kuna wakati mwanadada akifika wakati wa kubalee, kuna damu hutoka kila mwezi. Hiyo process mnaitaje? Hiyo mnaitaje? Mimi sijui, sisi tunaita menses. Kwa Kiswahili mimi sijui.
Ati kwa Kiingereza inaitwa aje?
Menses, monthly periods. Kwa kwenye mnaita aje
Kwa Kiswahili inaitwa dirika.
Dirika. Mimi sijawahi sikia kitu kama hicho. Sasa assume
Google uone la inaitwa dirika.
Kwa Google pia watanipea Kiswahili.
Ukiandika huko maana ya dirika.
Sasa mimi nataka nikuulize swali. Hamdi, kwa mfano mtoto alizaliwa, naona unacheka. So kwa mfano mtu umezaliwa uko na viungo viwili, then akapewa kiungo cha mwanaume, so akatengenezewa sehemu nyeti ya mwanamume. Ifike wakati aanze kufanya akuwe na dirika. Msema dirika. Sasa sijui atafila aje yeye mwenyewe.
Msema dirika.
Nimesema dirika. Ndio nasema akifika huo wakati aanze kuwa na dirika, na yeye ako na kiungo nyeti cha mwanamume. Sijui itakuwa aje. Kwanza masomo itakatizwa, manake wenzake wataanza kumchekelea. Alafu kama ikifika wakati wenzake wavulana wa realize kuwa yeye anajipresent kama mwanamke, huenda wanaweza panga waende wa mnajisi, na hiyo ikifanyika then huenda ataacha shule mara ya kwanza, ama ataamua kujitia.
Mbona saa yako haiwaki?
Haiwaki? Are you sure? Ama I think light ni mob.
Are you sure? Sasa inamaanisha nini? Sasa mimi nakwambia sijui Kiingereza.
Mob si Kiingereza. Mob ni lugha ya mtaa.
No,
mob inamaanisha.
Are you sure?
Pole Hamdi. Pole. Nitajifunza Kiswahili. Haki isikudanganye. After this you follow
Kiswahili. Juu sisi wa Tanzania hatujui Kiingereza.
Okay. Sasa utanifollow, alafu nitakufollow, tukue marafiki.
Nishakufollow, hebu unifollow back.
Sawa, nitakufollow baada ya hii live stream.
Sawa. Hapana, sai.
Naweza follow nikiwa hapa. Hii plus iko hapa, let me see. I think ni hii plus. Kidogo. Nafikiria nimekufollow, sivyo? Sawa.
Tugawe.
Chat mnahitaji kwa Kiswahili. Chati. Tutachati alafu tujue nitajifunza aje Kiswahili.
Utalipa kitu kidogo nifunze.
Ni sawa, na wewe pia unipe kitu kidogo nifunze Kiingereza.
Kiingereza, mimi najua Kiingereza, nilikuwa nakuchocha.
Umenisumbua. Sasa niache tu niongee Kiingereza tumalize haraka. Hadi kuna mtu ananichekelea hapa ati English is banned there. Nyinyi kwenye mmekataza Kiingereza. Naambiwa hapa kule Tanzania Kiingereza haikifai kuwa huko. Ni ukweli?
Ni kweli.
Okay, sawa. Asante sana Hamdi, nafikiri tutaongea zaidi baada ya
hakuna Kiingereza hapa.
Nimesikia. Nakuja Nairobi next week, wiki lijalo. Nakuja Nairobi wiki lijalo. Nafikiri tutapanga unifunze Kiswahili zaidi.
Ati nitakuja Nairobi ama utakuja Tanzania?
Umeniambia uko Nairobi ama ulisema uko wapi?
Mimi niko Tanzania.
Nilikuwa nafikiri uko Nairobi. Sawa. Tuta connect tu virtually usijali. Tutaongea zaidi, sawa?
Sawa.
Umeniweza leo. Sawa, asante sana kwa muda.
Unakaa teacher?
Ilifaa nisomee ualimu lakini kidogo sikusomea ualimu.
Na mbona hujasomea?
Sikuwa na interest wanaita hivyo. Sikuwa na interest na ualimu.
Na interest ni nini?
Interest. Sijui. Sikuwa najihisi kufanya ualimu, kusomea ualimu.
Okay, wewe uko Kenya. Na mbona hujui Kiswahili?
Nakijua lakini sasa sijui venye. Unajua mara mingi mimi huwa siongei Kiswahili.
Unaongea gani? Kiingereza?
Naongea Kiingereza na lugha ya nyumbani. But si Kiingereza sana.
Lugha ya nyumbani ni gani?
Ni Kibantu, Kiluya. No,
Kiluya.
Ya, Kiluya.
Wakiluya? Sasa nikikwambia ni atia.
Ni atia sio Kiluya.
Hiyo ni Kimeru.
Hata sijui. Nafikiri ni huko. Wewe lugha yako ya nyumbani ni?
Uko na ndevu ngine poa.
Wacha chocha wewe. Unajua tuko live.
Lugha yetu si lugha ya Kitanzania.
Huwa inaitwa tu hivi, haina jina la nyumbani.
Fardaga. Fardaga.
Chia tu hapo, hata siwezi shikanisha.
Sema Fardaga. Hiyo ndo lugha ya Tanzania tunaongea.
Fardaga. Mbona ina sound Arabic? Sounds Arabic. Fardaga.
Si Arabic. By the way kuna ile unaweza shika. Hoyeda was hivyo.
Sawa, nimesikia basi. Asante sana kwa muda wako, sawa?
Okay.
Sawa, nikimaliza live stream tutaongea baadaye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, take care. Now, Hamdi wants me to speak in Swahili. My friend, it is so hard to speak in Swahili, but I've tried my best. By the way, Kiswahili changu huwa ni kizuri, only that sasa kifikia wakati mtu ananiambia sasa ongea Kiswahili, it becomes so hard. Thank you so much Hamdi for your time. Na huyu ni Jen, unanicheka sana. Sijui kama unaweza ongea Kiswahili, ikiwa kama bado na watch, you can let me know and you talk to me in pure Swahili. So my friend, that has been. It's been so good interacting with you for over that 1 hour, for over that 30 minutes. And I feel so much happy that I've been able to interact with you. Hamdui is coming back. Should I accept her? I don't want to speak Swahili. But okay, she's cancelled that. So I hope that this has been of great help to you, and if that is the case, feel very, very free to like. If you're watching me from YouTube, feel very, very free to subscribe, and not only subscribe, my friend, ring that bell so that you do not miss any other feature tips, tricks, and tutorials, plus other live streams or podcasts that we are going to do on this channel. This channel does a lot of stuff. We do graphics design, we do video editing, we do podcasts just like this, we do tech videos, we do so much. So if you're interested in that, feel very, very free to subscribe. This has been Kazungu Duncan, and I'm hoping that I will see you in our next live stream or video. Peace.